My wife took half in the divorce and said I'd regret it. I smiled and waited, then I launched my new company. 1 year later she was begging me for a job. I'm Arthur, 42, male. This whole mess started when I was 40. The divorce itself dragged on, and by the time it was final and I was picking up the pieces, a fair bit of time had passed, bringing me to where I am now. Didn't picture myself spilling guts on Reddit, but here we are. It feels necessary. The divorce. Jacqueline, my ex 38F, when it began, decided our decade was done. Blindsided me mostly. We had rough patches, sure, but I thought we were solid. Turns out solid meant I was just clueless about her exit plan. She wanted out, and she wanted out well compensated. Her lawyer was a predator in pinstripes. While I was still processing "I don't love you anymore," she was already carving up assets I'd spent my life building. Savings, house equity gone. She got a hefty slice. Legally it was hers, I suppose. But her cold calculating method, that's what got me. The day the papers were signed, she had this smug air. Packing her last boxes into her pricey new SUV, my settlement no doubt chipped in. She turned to me in our empty living room. "You know, Arthur," she said, fiddling with her designer handbag, a nod to her tastes. "You're going to regret this. Letting me go, you'll be nothing without me to push you." I just stared. Push me? Her pushing was towards high-end department stores and fancy restaurants we couldn't afford. My passion projects the ideas I'd sketch out, late Arthur's silly little hobbies, especially my big one, a software idea I'd nursed for years, convinced it could change how small businesses handled logistics. She'd roll her eyes. "Sounds boring, honey. Complicated. Stick to your day job." So when she spat out her "nothing without me" line, a weird calm hit me. The hurt was there. A dull ache, but underneath resolve. I smiled. "Small tight. We'll see, Jacqueline." She scoffed. "Sure. Good luck with your spreadsheets." And then gone. First few weeks brutal: empty house, empty your account, instant noodles, and 3 a.m. ceiling staring contests. But that silly little hobby, that boring complicated idea, still there. And now I had nothing but time, some ironically acquired seed money. Thanks, Jacqueline, ironically. And a burning need to prove, mostly to myself. She took half, but not my brain, not my drive, not my idea. So I got to work. Update. Hey all, Arthur again. Some might recall my arse divorce vent post about 6 months back. Time for an update, slightly more upbeat. After Jacqueline's parting shot, I dove into that software project. Streamflow Logistics. Not super catchy, but descriptive. First few months were a blur, coding marathons on cheap coffee and sheer terror of failure. My apartment was a disaster zone of whiteboards and pizza boxes. You get it. The settlement post, lawyers and debts wasn't a fortune, but enough to keep the lights on and buy essential dev tools. There were dark moments staring at buggy code at 2 a.m. thinking, what am I doing? Jacqueline was right. Then I'd remember her smirk. You'll be nothing without me. Effective fuel. Around month 4 I had a working, if ugly, prototype. Convinced a local bakery and a craft brewery to be beta testers. Their feedback was gold. More late nights, more refinements. Last month Streamflow Logistics launched. No fanfare. Just me hitting publish on a self-made website and sending out hopeful emails. First week, crickets. Checked my email every 30 seconds. Nada. Stomach in knots. Maybe this was just a silly hobby. Then an email, a subscription, another and another. Small businesses. The kind too busy running their business for clunky, overpriced software. They got it. Not rolling in dough. Far from it. Just upgraded from ramen to maybe I can afford actual vegetables, but it's working. Feedback is positive. People are paying for something I built. Heard through the grapevine, mutual acquaintance, a guy named Terry who always seemed to have the gossip that Jacqueline was living her best life. Apparently she went on some big European tour right after the divorce, posting pics with #freedom and a new beginnings. Good for her, I guess. Terry mentioned she'd been asking him if he knew of any executive-level openings because her talents were being wasted in the part-time marketing gig she picked up. I felt a tiny bitter little pang. Not gonna lie. Then I looked at my screen at a glowing review from a new client and it faded. Some nights the apartment's still too quiet. That vulnerability lingers, but the of my servers, the ping of a new inquiry, that's a decent soundtrack. Jacqueline thought I needed her push. Her leaving was the biggest push I ever got. Long way to go, but for the first time in ages I'm heading somewhere I want to be. Onwards. Update. Alright. Reddit. It's been a year. 365 days since Jacqueline walked with her half and her dire predictions. Today something happened that I have to share it because what in the world? Streamflow Logistics. It's been kind of amazing. Last 6 months were a whirlwind. Hired my first 2 employees. Shout out to Hannah and Sean. You guys are lifesavers. We even got a small feature on a tech blog, drove a ton of interest. Still small, still scrappy, but profitable. Comfortably actually took a weekend off. Wild. Jacqueline's mostly out of my head. Anger faded to indifference. Occasionally Terry dropped news. The Best Life tour hit financial turbulence. The marketing gig flopped. She'd apparently complained to him that everything is so expensive and people don't appreciate true talent. I just shrugged. Not my circus. Until this morning. Work emails, client queries, bug report, Sean asking if the new coffee machine is communal. It is, Sean. It is. Then I see it. An email from Jacqueline Spencer, official, redacted, maildomain.com, subject catching up. My blood went a bit cold, not gonna lie. A part of me wanted to just delete it, but curiosity, that morbid human thing, got the better of me. I clicked. It started breezy, almost painfully casual. Hey Arthur. Long time no talk. Hope you're doing super well. I've been following your success with that little company of yours from afar. So proud. My eyebrow nearly launched. Little company. From afar? Lady, you wouldn't know a line of my code if it presented itself to you wearing a neon sign. And proud. From the woman who called my dream boring and complicated. Okay. The email rambled on about exploring her options and looking for a new challenge. Her extensive experience in managing household finances and scheduling, her words, and innate understanding of public relations. She once organized a bake sale, made her a unique asset. Then the kicker. Anyway, I was thinking, since Streamflow seems to be taking off, maybe you could use someone with my skill set. Perhaps in a senior management or client relations role. I'm sure I could bring a lot to the table. We always did make a good team. Remember? Let me know if you're free for coffee next week to discuss. So Jay, read it. Reread it. Laughed. A loud, slightly unhinged laugh that probably scared Hannah in the next room. Senior management role based on a household budget, mismanaged at that, and a bake sale. And we always made a good team, the audacity. First instinct, a sarcastic, paint stripping reply. Second, ignore. But then I thought about it. Her parting words, you'll regret this. You'll be nothing without me. And now this. So I replied, Jacqueline, interesting to hear from you. Coffee could work. How about Tuesday 10 a.m. at the Daily Grind on Market Street? My treat. Best, Arthur. Yeah. I agreed. Not because I'm considering her offer. That was truly ridiculous. But after a year of her predicting my failure, I owe myself this conversation in person. Let the games begin, or rather end. Update. Well folks, the coffee happened. The interview with my ex-wife Jacqueline for a job at the company she mocked. Strap in. Got to the Daily Grind early. Picked a table. Hands steadier than expected. When Jacqueline walked in, I almost missed her. The designer labels were there, a Verity blouse that cost more than my first server, but they looked tired. Her hair a bit too brassy, smile a bit too bright, too forced, stress lines around her eyes, a far cry from the smug woman in the SUV. Arthur, darling. She chirped, air kissing near my cheek. You look well, business is booming, I hear. It's doing okay, Jacqueline, I said, gesturing to a chair. Thanks for coming. Ordered coffee. Awkward small talk. She complimented my shirt. I said her blouse was nice. The barista probably sensed the cringe. Then she launched. So she began leaning in. Streamflow. Clever name. I always knew you had it in you, Arthur. Even when you were just tinkering, I told everyone Arthur's a smart cookie. Nearly choked. Tinkering. She'd called my workspace the nerd cave and complained about soldering smells. She laid out her vision for her role. A masterclass in delusion client acquisition and brand management leveraging her extensive social network yoga brunch buddies, mostly her feminine touch, could soften the company's techie image. I kid you not at one point. Think about it, Arthur. My people skills, your technical stuff unstoppable like old times, but with you actually making some real money this time. Low blow, implying my previous career which funded her life wasn't real money. Then the manipulation I expected. She said, hand briefly on mine, voice intimate. I've missed this. Us brainstorming. Such good chemistry. Maybe working together could be good for us in other ways too. A hopeful, almost desperate look. I pulled my hand away slowly, kept my face neutral. Let her finish her entire spiel. Every out-of-touch suggestion, every revised memory of her support. When she paused expectant, I said, thank you for laying all that out. It's illuminating. Her smile widened. So what do you think? I think, I said, leaning back. You have a very different recollection of the past 10 years. Her smile faltered. What do you mean? Let's start with Streamflow, or as you used to call it, that silly computer thing. You told me, Jacqueline, that silly computer thing will never amount to anything, Arthur. Why don't you get a real hobby or focus on getting that promotion at work so we could finally afford the expensive trips and lifestyle you always wanted? This silly computer thing, as you put it, is currently valued at 7 figures, employs 3 people, and has clients across states. It's what you're now asking to be a senior manager of. Color drained from her face. No. When you took half my assets, I continued evenly from that not real money job. You didn't offer to invest in this. Your exact words were, you'll regret this. You'll be nothing without me. Remember? She swallowed. Arthur, I was upset. People say things. They do. I agreed. And actions speak louder. Objectively, Jacqueline, your resume, which omits household financial management or bake sale organization as senior tech role qualifications, doesn't fit any open position. I need expertise in enterprise sales, Python, agile skills you don't possess, training you would take, resources we don't have. I'm a fast learner, she insisted, voice rising. I have people skills. You need that. My team, I said, Hannah and Sean have incredible people skills and the technical expertise. They believe in the company. Hiring you, given our history and your past dismissal of this venture, would be catastrophic. Toxic dynamic, undermine leadership, unfair to my team. She stared, eyes wide, flush creeping up her neck. So this is it. You're just saying no after everything. What everything, Jacqueline? The decade I supported your lifestyle while you belittled my ambitions. The way you cleaned me out and predicted my failure, or this meeting showing breathtaking entitlement and zero understanding of my company. You're doing this to spite me. She hissed, voice trembling, because I left you. Pathetic revenge. I sipped my cold coffee. No, Jacqueline. I said, meeting her gaze. This isn't revenge. It's a business decision. You're not a good fit. I built this company by moving forward, focusing on merit, not indulging drama. My only regret about you leaving is it didn't happen sooner, before I wasted years not pursuing my dream seriously. Her face crumpled. Anger, bravado shattered. A flash of genuine despair. A tiny part of me felt a twinge buried deep. You said I'd regret you leaving, I said, softer but firm. Half right, I don't regret you leaving. I regret not believing in myself enough before you did. This company, Streamflow, this is me, Jacqueline. On my terms, no place for you. I stood. Put a 20 on the table. Coffee's on me. Genuinely wish you luck in finding a suitable position. One that aligns with your skill set. She just sat there staring into her latte. I walked out. Didn't look back. The air outside felt clean, not triumphant, more like quiet satisfaction closing a long, draining chapter. The revenge, if you can even call it that, wasn't about crushing her. It was her confronting her choices, her misjudgments. She gambled on me failing, meeting her. She lost the consequence for her. Seeing me succeed with the very things she dismissed, knowing she burned that bridge so thoroughly that's just as served cold maybe, but earned. Back at the office, Hannah had landed a new client. Sean fixed a bug. We ordered pizza. Life goes on. And for the first time in forever, mine is pointed where I chose, built with effort I'm proud of. And honestly, that feels incredibly good. She can keep her hashed new beginnings. I'm busy building mine for Real.